Today, there's a little bit of a lag between when I start the video and when the video actually gets up on these websites. So I'm going to give you all a few moments to come in. It's a relaxing, easy Sunday. And what we're going to do is we're going to be talking. I'm giving my final word on this Jason Momoa situation with the whole alleged fondling of his daughter's chest, the vitriol that people have come out with. I'm going to show you all some updated videos because there were people who provided evidence that the video was quote unquote fake. And the evidence that they provided is the video of him stroking his daughter's chest. So I want us to have a dialogue, and I'm going to open up the phone lines. Right now, I'm just updating the thumbnail on the live broadcast so that we can get into this discussion. Perfect. A text notification went out quickly. So the text notification squad is getting ready to come on in. So I want you all to just make your way inside of here. I hate when videos start and there's this long, let me let everybody come in and it's all quiet or whatever, but text notification got their text. So let's jump to the first screen, all right? This is what we're talking about here today. You see his hand on his daughter's chest, right? We're going to not only be talking about that, but I'm going to show you some videos that people have come out with saying that the video is fake, this alleged lawsuit, this full-throated rampant angry lashing out of Momoa and all of this other stuff. And this is what I want us to talk about because I think that it's important. I took some notes. So we're going to stay on my talking points today because each and every morning I've been receiving a lot of vitriolic comments from people angry that I dare bring up this video. What we're going to do is let me show you all the video first and foremost. Let's jump in on that. And then let's talk about what it is that we've seen, what it is that is going on, what has happened since I put up this video, and what people are wishing will happen. Because I'll talk about me in a second. But let's jump to this video right here, and let's get the video small enough so that you all can be able to see the full thing. And then we're going to talk about some for instances. I know there's going to be some people that are going to come in late, but that's just the nature. This is why it's important for you to be a part of the text notification squad so that you can get your text. Let me move myself over and make this a little larger so that we can see and have this discussion, right? So this is a person doing a screenshot of the video, right? Where he's talking, oh, Joe Biden does the same thing, blah, 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 blah. The video is up on YouTube, right? He presses play, and as you see, right, we see Momoa has his hand on both of his children's chests. The one on the left is his son. The one on the right is his daughter, right? His daughter's 11 in this video. Look, so he's rubbing the daughter's chest, and then when he scoops up on her nipple, she moves his hand away, right? She moves his hand away, and then you see his face, and he's supposedly crying at what's going on in the haka dance and all of this stuff. So let's talk. Okay, so Veronica is saying, I believe he wasn't paying attention. Did he do it again? So listen, let's talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up. So thank you so much for being the first person to come out and say something like that, because I was going to show the comments, but no need to even show the comments if there are going to be people who are going to be repeating these talking points right here, right? One, let me ask you all this question. How many of you all, let's do a survey because I want us to think about this objectively. If he were resting his hand across the shoulder of a buddy, right? How many of us think that in his unconscious mind that he would begin to rub his buddy's chest and nipple inadvertently because he's just distracted? What about if he's sitting next to a friend and his hand is resting on his friend's lap, male friend? Do you think inadvertently he would just start rubbing his friend's crotch, rubbing his friend's penis? Like, oh, I'm just not aware of what I'm doing with my hands, right? And if he is not aware of what it is that he's doing with his hands, then that is a greater conversation that we need to have about being conscientious of personal space and boundaries, right? With the people who are near us, people who are next to us, people who are in our vicinity, the boundaries of our children, and realizing that as our children grow, their bodies change, and the types of touch that you may give them when they're younger may not be the types of touch that are appropriate when they start going through puberty. And I want to ask you all this question. So let me ask you this question. So you all are answering the survey. If you think that he would inadvertently start rubbing a male's crotch next to him without knowing what was going on, like he's so caught up in the haka that he just starts grabbing people's genitals next to him, put up the number 1. If you don't think that he would do that, put up the number 2. There's a little delay, like I said, between when I start speaking and when you all hear the question. So let's do that. Let's do that. And then, like I said, I'm going to show some of the video responses that people have said, claiming that this is fake, etc. And I'm going to show the video on the page that is claiming that this is fake. So remember, if you think that he would rub the crotch of a man next to him just because he's just so inadvertent, put up a 1. If you think that he wouldn't, and then ask yourself the question, why wouldn't he? So I see the 2s are starting to come in, right? Why do you think he wouldn't rub the crotch of a man sitting next to him because he's so caught up? So Juju is saying he thinks that he would rub the crotch of a man. So question is, why do you think that he wouldn't do that? Why wouldn't he rub the crotch of a man if he's so caught up in emotion? And then let me just state this very early in the video. Do I think that this was molestation and all of that other stuff, right? I can't make that type of allegation. I don't know. Was this touch inappropriate? That is the question. Whether or not he's fondling her at home. But then let's ask this question, though. If he wouldn't rub the crotch of a man next to him, why wouldn't he? The comfort that he has in doing this in public lets us know that this may be something that is normal place for him. You know, like he may just be a very, rubby, affectionate person. Who knows? Who knows? The question is conscientious. Are we cognizant enough of our hands and what our hands are doing that we have control over whether or not we just start reaching out and start massaging people who are next to us in places that it may not be appropriate? So that's question number 1, right? And then question number 2, to get to question number 2, let's jump to the articles refuting whether or not the footage was real, etc. So this article right here is on a site called NerdBot. I showed this in one of the other videos, but there are people who they don't stay long for the video. Our attention span is so short that we don't really get a chance to even really explore things really anymore, because we got the attention span of a goldfish and it's only getting shorter and shorter. All right, let me get this. All right, there we go. All right, so let's read this for you all. I mean, it's on the internet, so you can read it. It says, Aquaman star Jason Momoa, victim of fake groping video. Let me make this large so that you all can be able to read with me, right? Aquaman star Jason Momoa, victim of fake groping video. And then it goes on. Jason Momoa, star of the blockbuster DC EU, so I guess that's like DC Comic Enterprise or whatnot, right? Film Aquaman has recently become the victim. So this article is positing that he is the victim of a smear attempt this week over an altered video taken out of context that accuses him of fondling Lola Lalani Momoa, his 11-year-old daughter, right? The real and unaltered recording, which lasts 7 minutes and 8 seconds, was taken at the Hawaii premiere of his recent hit film, Aquaman. In the video, Momoa and his two children, Lola Lalani and Nakoa Wolf Manakupa Nakamishi, participated in the ritual dance known as Haka, dedicated to their Polynesian roots, right? And then this is the video that they're saying is unaltered. And I'm going to actually play this video because this is the video. And I want us to think, like, when they say that people are sheep, when they say people are sheeple, I understand how. I really, let me finish reading the article because I'm going to talk about how I have a new publicist now. I have a new publicist, and I'm going to tell you how articles like this get up on the internet. What are some of the key words? The hit film, star Aquaman, victim. So a publicist can go out there and get a blogger or somebody to write an article, and then all of a sudden people start. It's not like this is a neutral article. This is not a neutral article. He's the victim of a smear, altered video. This is the hit DC Enterprise, Aquaman, the hit film. This is all of this. All it takes is for somebody to write a blog post, and then all of a sudden, what you see with your own eyes. So much so that we can't even have the conversation. Let me finish reading the article because I don't understand. I'm confused as to where. And look, this is a very short article. Momoa, who is known for his loud and proud displays of his heritage, has performed the haka at many events. In the first minute of the video, where the alleged groping takes place, Momoa can be seen emotionally embracing his two children just prior to performing the dance. In the context of the full unaltered video, it is clear that no inappropriate touching is actually happening between Momoa and his daughter. Let's look at the video that they say is the unaltered video, and you tell me, because when they say unaltered, because I've done a lot of research on this since we've spoken about this, when they say unaltered, what do they mean? What they mean, what they're claiming that the person who altered the video, zoomed in on the video and cropped it. Some people are also saying that they slowed it down, right? And so that is what they're calling altered. And you all are running away with it, saying that the video was computer generated image of a hand moving. One guy on my Facebook page says, I created a video of a woman opening a door, and then I superimposed it with a cat, and then the cat opened the door, and they're saying his hand is fake. You can see his hand. Okay, they're claiming his hand is fake. Let's look at the video that this article is saying is the original video right here. You see, it's on the same site with the star Momoa and the smear can and all of that. We're going to play the video for you so that you can see. Right? So this is the video. This is the unaltered video that they're talking about. This is it right here. This is it. Look, where is the alteration? This is the evidence that they have provided. Look. So you see his hand, you see his fingers off to the left, and you see he starts rubbing her chest, right? You see he starts rubbing her chest. And then when the finger scoops up on her nipple, she says, she pulls his hand away. There was a young lady who came onto the broadcast the other day, and she says, I'm hard of hearing, I read lips, and I saw the word op. So she believes that the young lady was saying stop, right? People then decided to come out in full-fledged denial and say, she was saying pop. She was talking to him about something else. Some people say she was just moving her hair out of the way so that she could look up and talk to him. But she didn't move her hair out of the way and look up this way. She moved his hand and looked up at him over here on this side. So this is what they have posited. This is what they've shown. Is the real footage. So in the real footage, it shows that he was stroking her chest. Now, let's pause for a second and have this conversation real quick, right? Was the touch appropriate to be rubbing on the chest of an 11-year-old girl? I mean, if you're holding your children, you're rubbing on their chests at 8, at 5, that's a whole different story. 11, when they begin to go through puberty and the buds, and every young lady here who has ever grown breasts knows that your nipples are super sensitive when they're first growing. Super, super sensitive. So when he touched her, she felt it immediately, it seemed like she felt it immediately and looked up and was like, what's going on? Let's jump into another seemingly PR piece. We're going to look at a video now this time. And the title of this video is Don't Mess with Jason Momoa. That's the title of the video. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm going to put it right here up on the screen. Look, the title of the video is, let's move this down a little. Don't mess with Jason Momoa. You see that, right? So they're letting you know off the bat where they're coming from, right? So let's watch this here video, because this is the video that's talking about, this is another video that came out in defense of Momoa and talking about what a great father he is, et cetera, right? All right. So let's go forward. Let's look at this. Why is my thing not, my broadcast earpiece not going in? There we go. All right. Let's go.
Jason Momoa was filmed inappropriately touching his daughter. The clip quickly went viral, and in a matter of seconds, thousands of fans were attacking him from all sides, completely destroying the acclaimed actor's image, who'd always been portrayed as a caring and respectful family man. The video's publication sparked a wave of criticism and insults directed at the Aquaman protagonist, and Jason reacted furiously to the attacks on his character, promising that he wouldn't rest until he'd found those responsible and made them pay.
So I want us to take a few moments and pay attention to what it is that we are hearing and seeing. One of the things that I noticed in the video is they have some sentimental piano music, tune, 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 playing, showing him furious, showing him he's been destroyed. We can take a look at that again. So
Jason Momoa was filmed inappropriately touching his daughter.
You hear the music.
Clip quickly went viral, and in a matter of seconds, thousands of fans were attacking him from all sides.
Attacking him. Let's take a look at what they're considering to be attacks. Let's take a look at that real quick. They're attacking him. Where's the attack? Her reaction says it all. This is not how a loving father shows affection to his daughter. See her reaction and read her lips. He looks all bait after. I don't know what that means. But these are attacks. These are the attacks that destroyed him. Is this the way that a loving father affectionately strokes his pubescent daughter's chest? That's one of the questions. But they're claiming that he was attacked with this sentimental music, talking about he was destroyed. But what about the child and the defense of the child? This is what is strange to me, and I want us to be objective and think about this clearly, because there's so many people who saw these two pieces and they're like, oh, okay. Even though I saw him, stroking the girl's nipple, or stroke her nipple, rubbing her chest and stroke her nipple, even though I saw that, let me just go with the narrative that is now being put out by possible PR agents. Because listen, like I told you, I have a new PR agent right now. And my PR agent, her job, like she went through and she saw, the pieces that people wrote about me when I was living in my car, right? And one of the first things that she talked about doing was creating a counter narrative. Creating a counter narrative so that when people look up, the time that I lived in my car, because when I lived in my car, there were people who said that I was scamming. This is out there on the internet. But rather than going on again and again about how it wasn't a scam, I was living in my car, etc., etc., we will put out a counter narrative where we will talk about the time that I lived in my car and spin it into a story of triumph. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. Turning it into a story of triumph. So a PR, do we think that Momoa has the resources to be able to afford a PR specialist? Yes or no? Yes. Is it possible that a PR specialist or a publicist can talk to vloggers and say, you know what, do this story, make it emotional, make it sentimental, and talk about his accomplishments, right? Let's continue going forward into this piece where let's continue.
Completely destroying the acclaimed actor's image.
Completely destroying. So it's the comments of the people coming out and saying, why is a child's chest being rubbed that way, that destroyed his image? People who were saying, look at her reaction, that says it all. That destroys his image? Come on.
Who'd always been portrayed as a caring and respectful
And so now they're showing that. So now look at what they're doing. They're showing video footage of him with the children jumping on his shoulder. Is it possible that a person can both be a caring, loving, doting father and also have touched his child inappropriately, or touches their children in inappropriate ways that are inappropriate for the ages that they are? Can we not have the conversation about what appropriate and inappropriate touch looks like and what it is like?
Video's publication sparked a wave of criticism and insults directed at the Aquaman protagonist, and Jason reacted.
Now they're showing footage of him furious and angry and calling him the Aquaman protagonist and all this, that, and the other.
Acted furiously to the attacks on his character, promising that he wouldn't rest until he'd found those responsible and made them pay. After a tireless search, Momoa tracked down the identity of the audacious individual who posted the video on Twitter.
The identity of the audacious individual that posted the video.
Accompanied by a scathing criticism of the actor.
Jason Momoa, or should I call you human trash? I don't care if the girl is your daughter or not. Look how uncomfortable she is. Look at his hands. How can you guys support this?
Those were the words the Brazilian used.
Hold on. Somebody is saying the video is frozen. If you can hear the words that I'm saying right now, I need you to put up the number 3. I need you to put up the number 3, because if somebody says the video is frozen, because, when we're playing other people's footage, sometimes, we can get clocked. We can get clocked. So when you hear this, put up the 3 so I know that we're still live and that we're still going. We are live right now. Why don't you do this? Liking the video sends a message to the algorithm that they should show the video to more people who may find benefit in the video. So go ahead and share the video, tag somebody. Okay, so I'm seeing a 3. Perfect. So we are still live then. Share the video, tag somebody. Let's have this conversation, because this is a necessary conversation that we need to have. And so what they're doing now is they're showing all of these loving, lovable images of him working and showing. So these things are subconsciously telling us this is a man of merit. This is a man who has done things. This is a man who has accomplished. Have we heard him? Have we heard Momoa in his own words come out and talk about this clip? They claim that there's this lawsuit and he wouldn't stop until he found the person. Let's continue.
Posted online, labeling the Hawaiian actor and model as a genuine abuser.
So now they're showing him in some sort of clip looking like he's crying. Ooh. but we don't hear his words. And I'm going to talk about his words and how important his words could have been in this conversation, because I think it's important that we talk about this. But I want you to see the images, because I am a content creator. I make videos. And what happens, and what has been happening with the algorithm, is the algorithm will lead you down a path. And it will lead you down a path of people speaking a particular narrative. Like I've been watching, I watched a video about the dangers of the metaverse. And then now I started receiving videos about the dangers of TikTok. And then in these videos, they started promoting the idea that Trump was right and Trump this and Trump little, one sentence here, one sentence there. But what ends up happening is, and especially with me being a certified clinical hypnotherapist, when you're in a state of relaxation, you have to be careful with the words that are coming into your being. Many of us go into our beds with our phones, and you need to be very careful with what it is that you are letting come into your world as you are getting ready to go to sleep and as you are first waking up. Many of us are indoctrinating ourselves into this world of online and letting very toxic messages enter into our psyche and in our being. When you are relaxed, that is when you have to be most careful. Like you see behind me, those are my books right there. The Book of Affirmation, Self-Love. One of the points that I put inside of the book in the beginning on how to use the book is to do the affirmation right before you go to sleep or just as you're waking up, because you are more susceptible at that point. But nonetheless, so we have these video content creators that create content and create videos that send bits of programming into our mind. They show images that we then associate with other things. So when we see this image of him looking like he's about to cry, he's looking very emotional. This lets us know, oh, this poor man, he was hurt so much. He's very sorry, etc., etc. We're going to continue going forward. Red pill as well. This is how people go down this rabbit hole. And you have to be very careful. Like I was in a little bit of an argument earlier today with somebody who was commenting on my video because I did not know who Pete Davidson was. Last night's video, I didn't know who Pete Davidson was. I didn't know that Kanye had punched the person who came to get his autograph and all of this. I don't consume those things when I'm offline. And the only reason that I even started talking about viral topics is because these websites, these platforms demand of us that we make certain types of content. Like if you just want to talk about self-love, and you can see in my videos where I just talk about self-love, the videos don't get views. You add a name to it and then the algorithm starts sharing it with your own fan base who are also interested in those topics. So nonetheless, let's continue with the programming that is going along in this video. Let's continue with that.
General, la gente que se dedica a generar contenido, pues lo que buscan es vender.
And then they have a woman now speaking in a different language, right? Where now you read the words. In general, people who dedicate themselves to creating online content, their goal is to sell. The person who put up the clip, first of all, Facebook is not going to pay you on a 30-second clip. Facebook is not going to pay YouTube. No platform is going to pay a person who puts up a 30-second clip and their other stuff is not monetized. If you don't have a monetization contract, the person who put this up on Twitter, and first of all, Twitter does not pay for content creators' content. Facebook pays, YouTube pays. Instagram has just started giving little bonuses for reels. I hear TikTok pays, I don't know. But this person put this thing up on Twitter. The hell are you talking about, Samantha Rangel? What the hell are you talking about? And she's a collaborator on El Hipe or El Hype, however you, whatever. So look at her face. She looks so sincere, and she's coming out with this narrative. In general, people who dedicate themselves to creating online content, their goal is to sell. And selling in today's world means views, increasing traffic, and maximizing online exposure. So a person who shows a video clip of a man, first of all, not one of these goddamn platforms, excuse my language, not one of these platforms is going to pay you on a video where you are showing a child being touched. It's not. It's not advertiser friendly. It's not. So what is she talking about?
Hoy en día es generar vistas, generar tráfico y crear exposición. Y por supuesto que
Of course, this works as there is an audience consuming the content.
esto funciona gracias a que hay una audiencia que lo está consumiendo, a quien le
An audience that finds it interesting. Morbid stories sell, and they always have done. Is she even talking about Aquaman? Is she talking about Momoa at this point? What is she talking about? This seems very random about people creating content online to make money.
interesa, a quien le gusta. El morbo vende y ha vendido desde siempre.
But Jason Momoa wasn't about
to allow them to tarnish his name.
tarnish his name, which is why he quickly sought to refute the accusations, saying that the video was edited and that it had been completely altered using effects such as zoom and changing the speed.
I just want you to just pay a effing attention. Please pay attention to the way the person is telling this story. The video was altered, but in what way was it altered? It was zoomed in is the alteration. Changing the speed is the alteration. It didn't say a fake hand came out. It didn't say that it was a fake, even though there are people who are coming out and saying, oh, the hand was fake. This person right here is admitting that the alteration is a zoom and a focusing in on what his hand was doing. Now they're talking, so great was the Game of Thrones actor's rage. Pay attention to the programming. So great was the Game of Thrones actor's rage, promoting another one of the shows that he was on.
Great was the Game of Thrones actor's rage that he decided to publish the original video and announced that he would take legal action against the Brazilian slanderer.
Slanderer? He called you human trash. That's his opinion. Where was the slander? This happened. The video is real.
La edición del video, porque
The video editing, because the video has been edited, however subtly, this
sí
may
hay
have been
una
done.
edición detrás, por muy sutil que sea, hay una edición.
The
Pues
editing
habla
reveals the
de la
creator's
intención,
intent, right?
¿no?
The
Es-
video,
el
as
video
it is
tal
going
cual no va a
around to
reflejar lo que
do whatever she's talking about. Let's continue going forward. You read the
comunicar, que
words.
es generar un
Which is to
escándalo.
cause a scandal.
Se
So
le
what do
mueve
I
algo,
do?
se
I move
ajusta, se le
something
baja la
here,
velocidad,
adjust
de
something
etcétera,
there
para que se
until the
ajuste
footage
a
says
lo
what
que
I
yo
wanted
quiero
to say.
comunicar.
What did they move and adjust to where? What was moved and adjusted?
Por supuesto que hay una
Obviously, this type of video manipulation is done with malicious intent. How do you know what the intent was of the person who uploaded the video? You don't know. He showed a child being caressed on her breast. Come on. The malicious intent of zooming in and focusing in on the fact that, and looking at this footage that was online and saying, wait a minute, where is Momoa's hand? And then zooming in so that people could see it better.
mala intención al aventarlo así.
The fake video was quickly deleted, but questions remained.
The fake video was quickly deleted? In what way was the video fake? Now he's done dropped the key word, the fake video, because I have people telling me the video is fake. Look, the fake video was quickly deleted. What was fake about it? The person may have been receiving some smoke and deleted the video because it says, El usuario ha eliminado este video, which means the user has removed this video. They could have been getting some smoke or maybe a lawsuit or whatever. Who knows? Who knows? We don't even know. I don't know what state this happened in or where this is supposedly the person is in Brazil. We don't know what type of lawsuit there really was.
But questions remained about how quickly and harshly Momoa was judged for posing with his hands on his daughter.
Posing with his hands on his daughter? Or was he posing with his hands on his daughter, or was he seen in a video stroking his daughter's chest? You see how the spin is happening, right?
Something that didn't happen to Lisa Bonet, the children's mother, who a while ago posed for a photo with her kids.
So now they're going to so now they're showing all these slow motion sentimental videos of him with his children, and now they're going to show Lisa Bonet's hand on one of her children's chests, I believe.
Letting
Let's take
her
a look.
hands rest on their...
Okay. So the girl in this photo is about, how old do you think she is? About 6? She looks very young in this photo. This is not so much about resting your hand on a child's chest. This is not about posing in a photo. This is about stroking
their chests. But her name wasn't dragged through the mud by the press. Despite the controversy, Jason Momoa doesn't allow scandals of this nature to affect his relationship with his fans or with his beloved family.
They're loving having me home, and we're having a great time. And I'm like the PE coach, you know what I mean? Like, get your ass outside. Want to go rock climb, skateboard, but that's about it.
Aside from being a renowned actor, Jason has shown himself...
Aside from being a renowned actor, Jason has shown himself to be a caring and loving father
who has always been
there for both his kids
and
those of his wife.
Proving that to Jason Momoa, family is everything.
How do you know what is everything to Jason Momoa? This is what I'm saying. People have taken this spin piece and they've run with it. So credits, Higo, mukbang, this, that, and the other, background grid. They're showing all of the credits, right, for the video. So this is a professionally created video. Warner Brothers, DC Films, Hollywood Streams, E.T., The Kelly Clarkson Show, Ebon, this, that, Jimmy Kimmel, all of these different shows that they're crediting. Music by Ella Joy Meir and by Paul Fowler. Editors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 editors on this video. Who was the script writer, by the way? Oh, no script writer for this piece from Indomitable Minds? Like all of the credits. They didn't credit the script writer for this? Where's that? Where's? So I just... United States of America, Getty, background, Jimmy Kimmel, The Ellen Show. Where is the credit for the writer who wrote this piece? So furious was the Game of Thrones rage. This indomitable actor, this successful... Come on. Thank you, Indomitable Minds, for this piece. Thank you for providing this piece for us to break down piece by piece on this broadcast. So let's continue going forward. My question. Thank you. And there are some apples that have come through. I heard some apples come through while we were broadcasting. They haven't come all the way through, so let me go with my first question. My first question, and I want you, oh, Mom, I'm sorry, this is the second question. Second question, this is the third question, because the first question was inappropriate touch. Second question was whether or not we think he could afford a publicist who could put out this spin piece, right? And so the third question is, what would this conversation have been like if Momoa came out and said, you know what? I can see what you all are saying. And I've got to be more mindful that she's not a little girl anymore. What would the conversation be like if he came out and he said, you know what? I see what you all are saying. You're right. You're right. I've got, you know what? I was caught up in the moment. I didn't see that, but you're right. I've got to be more mindful that she's not a little girl anymore. And I've got to, I've got to change the way I do things as a father. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. What would the conversation be like then? But to come out furiously and in a rage and indomitable Game of Thrones and all of this? Why is it that we are being denounced from asking the question, is this appropriate touch? Is it appropriate to stroke the chest area of an 11-year-old girl. I want to see from you. I want to see your what would the conversation be like if he said that sentence? What type of person comes out with a full-throated, harsh, I'm gonna get you, sucker. I'm gonna get you, sucker. I'm gonna sue you and tear you down, and I'm gonna do all this, that, and the other. Right? What would the conversation be like if he came out and said, you know what, I can see what you all are saying. I can see that. You know what? You're right. I can see that. And I can see how I just have to be more conscientious. I got to be more conscientious. And so somebody is saying that we're all perverts because we're the one sexualizing it. You didn't hear me say that this was sexual at all. You didn't hear me say that. What I said is that it's an inappropriate touch, and we've got to have that conversation. What's wrong with having that conversation? Because at the end of the day, if we side on the side of Momoa and say, oh, this is nothing, it leaves children at risk. If you side on the side of the child, children are protected. Because I would rather err on the side of caution where we say, you know what? Let's just not do that. Let's just not stroke on the breast and bosom area of pubescent girls. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Some people came out and said, why would he do this? I'm going to show you some of the comments. I'll show you some. Because the comments are still here. They're on my video. Right. Here. So these are some of the comments that have come out. People are like, so people are saying, that, hold on. So this is, okay. So people are upset by how many people are defending this. By going on. So this is on YouTube. And then I'll show you the comments on, he was caught up in the, okay, so look, you can go look at the comments on the original video. I'm just showing them to you all right now. Right? These are some of the comments. This is how it is go. So here, and then also this is on my Facebook page, right? These are the comments on the Facebook page from the same video. I hope he sues whoever edited the video and all media outlets reporting on it. It is alleged because the video was edited. People are talking about how they do that in the industry. This is old. They didn't divorce because of this. This was from 3 years ago. That video was debunked and is old. He never did that. You see the people. You see the comments. They're claiming he never did that. This is old. He never did that. Let's see. This was proven to be an edited footage years ago. That came out. And they're going on. And you listen, there are 1.4 thousand comments on the Facebook page. 1.4 thousand. So you all can go over there and read them for yourself, right? Let's continue with my next question. My next question is, these people who are saying this stuff, oh, he did nothing wrong. He was just distracted. I should have cut and paste some of the comments, but personally, I don't like to be involved in boondoggles when I'm off screen, right? Like when I'm on screen, I'll involve in a boondoggle, but off screen, I don't like to be involved in the boondoggle, right? It just depletes me. So when I'm broadcasting, I'll do these, but I should have taken snapshots of the actual comments so that you all can read them for yourselves. But I'll tell you what it is that the most prevalent protestations that I've heard are people saying, oh, his hand was just rested there inadvertently. He didn't know what he was doing. The daughter didn't even feel it. She looked up at him to say something else to him. But we can clearly see that her mouth, it seems like her mouth says stop, right? And people are saying that it's good that she is able to, to tell her father, no, I don't like being touched in this way, which shows a good relationship behind the scenes, rather than just sitting there being touched uncomfortably and not really, just like Kodak Black's mother, not really be able to get away from it, right? People are saying that he touched her stomach. We saw that his fingertips curled up around her breast. We saw that. And we know how sensitive the budding nipple is when, and then look, my fourth question is, these people who are coming out with these refutations, right? Would you let your child be babysat by those types of people? The people who are saying, nah, this didn't happen. Would you let your child be babysat? If you would let your child be babysat, put up the number 4. If you would not let your child be babysat by those types of people, put up the number 5. Listen, I want to see your comments. I want to see. Because me personally, I wouldn't let my child be babysat by people who are making comments like that. I wouldn't. Would you? If a person who sees a child being rubbed on their chest area, on their stomach and their chest with fingers curling up around their nipples, would you let your child be babysat by those people? And that's 4. If you would not, put up a 5. All right. So that lets you know right there. Say what you want to, but I wouldn't let my child come into contact with a person who would see this and not even want to have the conversation and be like, hey, buddy, she's growing up now, hun. This is not appropriate anymore. I wouldn't let you babysit my child if you cannot see a child, an 11-year-old child's chest being rubbed and not be like, hey, the girl is moving his hand away. I don't see anybody putting up a 4. No one. Why is it that we are pretending as if there aren't people out there who do, 1, inappropriately touch children, 2, condone the touching of children, and 3, fantasize about it themselves? There are whole societies created of people, or these groups. I forget the name of the group. It's adult with child predilections or something like that. Man loving children, and people now trying to come out talking about they wanting for transgender to get their due, because they want to be calling themselves trans age, because they want to be like, inside I'm really 5, inside I'm 11, so therefore I should be able, because the moment that they're aligning themselves, I forget the names of it, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those were all of my questions right now. Those are all of the questions that I had for this broadcast. Those are all of them. So I don't know if there's somebody who wants to call. I can open up the phone line, right? I can open up the phone line, and if there's people who want to call, go ahead and throw up the number 6, and I'll open up the phone lines. Let me see what some of the comments are saying. Let me make this larger. All right, let's see. Bobby says, man, I'm tired of Tanya always trying to trash alpha men. Nigga, let me tell you something. If alpha to you is taking your hand and rubbing it across an 11-year-old's chest and breast, then nigga, you need to sit the fuck down. Go to hell with that shit, motherfucker. Alpha? No, sit down. Stop that shit. Delete all that shit. Delete that. Let's continue going forward. I'm looking at the comments. Okay, so there's people who do want to call in. All right. Josephine is saying, I watched the video, but I did not see him rubbing her breast, but her chest. Every human being has breasts. So if he's rubbing her chest, he's rubbing her breast. Even chicken have breasts. This is the pechuga. This is the breast area, hun. You see what I'm saying? You're another person. I wouldn't let you come near my children. You can babysit over here. Many of you are suspect. Many of you are suspect. You could if you said some shit like that to me, Josephine, talking about he didn't touch your child's chest. He didn't touch your child's breast. He touched her chest. You'll see the wrath. You want to talk about the indomitable and game and all of that? You will feel the wrath. That's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Let me open up these phone lines before I get myself in trouble saying some stuff that I can't take back on these here airwaves today, because some of y'all out here. Oh, you know what? Let me get the apple first. Let me get the apple. All right. So Deborah sends $5 and says, very inappropriate. Lisa's protecting her girls. And listen, let's not, when I put the title of that video, I did not mean that was the reason for their divorce. All I said was a year after he's seen doing this, they're splitting. I don't know why she's leaving him or whatnot. Thank you for the apple. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So here we go. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. Listen. So I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to give you all a few moments to go ahead and let that call come through. 323-488-3149. Phone lines are open. I see people are fighting in the comments. Somebody is fighting with somebody. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. All right. I'm not going to even scroll back. 323-488-3149. Somebody's saying, I'm glad she corrected that. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Ryan is saying he's leaving her because she's old and wrinkled. You know what? Listen, he knew she was older than him from the time that he was 8. And he decided that was going to be his wife one day. He knew in his spirit. And he did what he needed to do to come into contact with her. And they hit it off and they fell in love. And she is older than him. He knew she was older than him. And he loved her. I'm still sure he does love her. Who knows why they're splitting? However, the line is ringing. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hi, Tanya. This is Jessica. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine, thanks. Let me turn up your volume. Go ahead, Jessica. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from St. Louis.
Hey, Jessica from St. Louis on the line. Go ahead, Jessie. Tell us what your comment is.
I just kind of coming from a younger point of view, and now that I've become an adult, I can really see the issue in not calling out the inappropriateness of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was younger, like a lot of older adults, they would say things like, oh, those girls have been touched. So, they were telling a story. They just glossed over child abuse a lot of times. So
yeah.
I almost had the impression that it wasn't a big deal. And it wasn't that my mom didn't teach me about inappropriate touch or anything like that, but it was just one of those things that in so many situations, it hadn't been highlighted, and to the point where I had a roommate who had a domestic violence situation. And long story short, she left school, came back, and shared with me that she had been abused and, what she had gone through. And it wasn't until that firsthand encounter, through her story that I understood, like, this is not just inappropriate, like, maybe he did this, maybe they did that, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't just stop there. Like, this would be the very surface kind of level. And I just think that it's so important that you are highlighting this like this, because so many people, and I think where it comes from,
I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. I just need to block somebody real quick. I'm sorry. We haven't had a block party in a minute, but there's somebody who needs one here. You're out of here. There was a person named Bobby trolling in the comments. Bobby, you have earned yourself a spot in the block party. I'm sorry. I just had to get rid of that person real quick. I'm Jessica from
Yeah,
St.
no worries.
Louis. I
So,
apologize. So go
so
back to
no
your
worries.
last
Just to wrap
point.
up, I just think
Mm-hmm.
that it's important to highlight how serious these situations are, because I think the older we get, the further along that we're removed from what has happened in the past. That
Yeah.
like it, I think I haven't been through any abuse like that, so I don't want to speak over anyone's experience, but it just seems like to get through it, you maybe compartmentalize it in a
Yeah.
certain way to like help heal, and in doing that, I think we risk kind of devaluing, not devaluing, but like
Yeah.
taking away
Minimizing.
the impact of it.
Minimizing.
Yes, thank you. Minimizing the impact of the trauma of those situations where, someone might look and see like, oh, I've been through something like that and I'm fine now. But like
I'm sorry.
that
There
doesn't
needs to be
excuse that
another
it
block
happened.
party. I'm so sorry. Next block, I'm going to have to twerk for it because Bella A on YouTube, you just earned yourself a spot in the block party for talking about makes you wonder whether or not this is okay to stroke your puppy's chest. We're not talking about a puppy, we're talking about a girl. And you can go talk about your puppy and rub its chest over there at the block party with the other chicks and dudes over there. My dear, I'm sorry. I feel it's disrespectful to cut you off when you're talking. But these blocks had to happen in the moment. So you were basically saying as we get older that we get
I,
removed and that the abuse and the impact of it is often minimized.
right. Because I mean, I just think this is a natural progression. The further we get past it, or or the time that happens, it kind of, we're not as in that moment,
Yeah.
because even though I haven't experienced like actual molestation or anything, it's just that situations have happened where I'm like, whoa, like you was a little handsy with that hug or something like that, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't, and it's not okay. Just because it is prevalent or it happens a lot doesn't mean we should normalize it. And I just want to
Yeah.
thank you for speaking up for her, because so many times we don't, or we just say, oh, like it happens so often that we just normalize it, and we brush over it. And even though it might not be up to that more extreme level, even that
Mm-hmm.
inappropriate touch, that's still a lot, and it can still traumatize someone, and we shouldn't just brush it under the rug.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank
And
you
you're
very
welcome,
much.
and
We
thank you.
appreciate you calling in. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
That was such a necessary phone call. And then let me ask you all this question for the people who are defending this. Who is Jason Momoa to you? What is it about who he is that you know personally that you would put yourself, listen, here. I think people want to see the twerk. Here we go. Hey! Hey! Billy Buster! You made it to the block party, boy! You made it to the block party because this is foolishness. We start talking about serious topics and then fools start coming out and they have to start getting kicked back through the doors. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. Who is he that you know personally, that you know what's in his heart and mind, that you know what his intention was? He didn't come out like a responsible adult for the protection of children and say, you know what? You're right, it doesn't look right, and I have to be more conscientious. He didn't come out and do that. He started talking about how he gonna get this person, he gonna get that person, and this, that, and the other. Listen, I would rather be brought before the court in defense of a child than to cower and scurry into a hole and leave it out there where we are not addressing the possible inappropriate touch of children. You cannot frighten me like that original person who put it up or whatnot was frightened. I am unafraid. Let's continue forward. We have another call coming in. What is your name? You're on the air live with Tanya.
Hi, Tanya. My name is Bill.
Hi,
And
Belle.
I
And
wanted
where
to
you
say
calling
that
from? Where you calling from, Belle?
I'm calling from Texas.
Here we got another person. Listen, this person has another account that they went and got blocked on. Unbelievable. I'm sorry.
No, actually, that is me, Bella Moore.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just
Yeah,
had to.
it's
I had
me.
to. I had to block Billy Buster. You out of here again on the other platform. So, oh, you're the one who was
Okay.
talking about rubbing the puppy's chest.
Yes, ma'am. It was a serious question. I wasn't trolling. I totally believe that that is wrong what he was doing, and he shouldn't be doing that. I am like so against pedophiles and
Oh,
perverts and all of the sort. I think that, like you said, he should have came on and said, maybe I need to analyze what I'm doing because my child is 11 or whatever the age she could be. Maybe that's something he used to do. Whatever, he shouldn't be doing it. I was literally rubbing my puppy's chest when I saw the video and I logged in and I'm like, oh my God, is that bad for me? And I'm serious.
oh, well, you've been blocked.
Oh,
Right? I don't know how to
oh my
unblock.
God. No,
I don't know how to unblock. I'm
I am
sorry.
actually a survivor of sexual abuse, and that is totally a no go for me.
Okay. Well, listen. I'll try to figure out
Mhm.
how to unblock a person. You have to send me a message on my website with your page's link so I could go right to your page to click the unblock. But I'm gonna say this. When it
Okay.
comes when it comes to your puppy, if you notice that your puppy is becoming aroused by a touch on its nipples, then of course, if you see your puppy is uncomfortable, one of the things that stood out to us about the video, and I'll play the video as we talk, right? One of the things
Right.
that stood out is that she was uncomfortable. She moved his
Yes.
hand. She moved his hand. She looked
Yes.
stunned. So we have the video up on the screen right now. So if your puppy
Yes.
starts barking at you or nipping at you because you touch it in a particular way, don't touch it in that way. It's as simple as
Okay.
that. So we see he's hand on chest, fingers. Let me move the words right here. You see his
Got
fingers
it.
are rubbing, and then his finger curls up near her bosom, and she moves his hand away. And she's like, whatever it is that
They
she's
both.
saying at that point. But if your
Mhm.
puppy if your puppy is becoming stimulated, because every like the breasts
That's
are
when
not
it
an
should be a
erogenous
question or a
zone.
problem.
Right, exactly. And
Okay.
even your
Got
children,
it.
if your children say, listen, mommy, I don't like being touched like that, or mommy, I don't want to hug this person, please listen
Yes.
to your children. Please.
Wow, she's
It's
very uncomfortable. Yeah, I see that. And I would definitely do that. I would never touch anyone uncomfortably.
and
Definitely
the
not a
thing is that
child.
sometimes we don't know what type of touch will make a person uncomfortable. And then sometimes the type of touch that they
Mhm.
received before, they don't want to receive that type of touch. And we have to leave the door open for people to be able to express that they don't want to be touched in a certain way. And that is okay. We've got to leave the
Yes,
door
ma'am.
open. Like there are people, a lot of black women call each other bitches. That's my bitch. I be out my bitches. I don't like that. You do not
I
call me
don't
a
like
female
that.
dog. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yes.
in a friendship, in a relationship, there has to be space enough for me to say,
Right.
I don't like being spoken to that way. This doesn't resonate with me. Let's do things a different way, because if there is not that opportunity, then what do we do?
Yes, very true. We have to have boundaries, and each person in a relationship should be comfortable with your boundaries.
Exactly. In a healthy
And no, my puppy
relationship.
did not get any type of arousal. It's just that she has separation anxiety. So I just rub her to let her know, I'm here and I care for her. So it
Right.
was a serious question. I heard you say chickens have breasts, and I'm like, wait a minute.
A
I'm not
chicken
doing
does
something
have
wrong, am
breasts.
I?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I got what
Well,
you're
I'm
saying.
I'm with I'm with you on this one. You have my my rating on it's wrong. I'm totally against what he did, and every father should have this knowledge that that's not okay, and mothers too. You know, because there are mothers that are crossing boundaries out here.
Yes, but the thing is, and I want to make this abundantly clear, right?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be, hold on. Listen, do not, you're blocked. Do not post up your links to your blogs and all that other stuff, or you're going to get a silent block. You don't even get the party. Just silently. Don't post your links on my page. If you'd like to advertise something, speak to me behind the scenes and let's talk about, about what it takes to advertise on my platform. Don't try to just run up in the comments with that. That's a boundary of mine. Respect that boundary. So one of the things that I want to say is,
Were you talking to me?
no, I'm talking to somebody in the comments. So,
Oh, okay.
so
I'm like, I
Bella,
don't think I posted anything.
no. So Bella, sorry. So Bella,
Okay. Yeah.
whether a mother does it or a father does it, there's a lot of different types of touch that's not welcome by children. And whether that was the mother rubbing on the daughter's chest and the daughter was like,
Mhm.
"Stop." You know,
Mhm.
we can have the conversation about how that's inappropriate touch. We talk about this
Yes.
on this channel when we have mothers who are whipping and beating their daughters. That too is an
Mhm.
inappropriate touch. If your child does
Mhm.
not like to be
Yes.
touched in a certain way, there has to be another way, because what we do is we beat down the
Facts.
esteem of our children. We beat, because
Yes.
I'm sure we all remember what it felt
Yes.
like to be hit by our parents and touched in ways that we didn't like, whether that touch was a
Yes.
hit or a slap or a whip with a belt or a vacuum cleaner cord or a
Mhm.
flip flop or the back of a hand or the front of a fist or whatever it
Big
was.
facts.
There were many ways that we didn't like being touched. And what happens when you are constantly in contact with a type of touch that you don't like, you relent and then you just allow it to happen. And then when you become an adult, you're more susceptible. You're
Yes.
more susceptible to then entering into relationships where boundaries are crossed and
And you're accepting it.
exactly. All right. Well, I
Yes,
appreciate
ma'am.
you. I appreciate you coming in and having this conversation. Thank you, Bella. And remember, send me that
You are
link of
welcome.
your
Thank
profile so
you.
that I can unblock you.
You said send an email to you?
Yeah, TanyaTKO.com and click on
Okay.
contact and send me a link to your YouTube profile so I can unblock you. So you don't have to be at the
Okay,
block
awesome.
party
I
with some
sure
of these
will.
these stalkers in the comments here today. All right, thank you, Bella.
Okay.
All
Thank
right, bye-bye.
you. Bye.
All right. So Nettie is saying it was a long video. We showed the part of the longer video. I mean, I can show you the whole video. It's on that guy's on the people who claim that they're debunking it, right? This is the longer video right here, right? You're in the air live with Tanya. Let me just go through this video real quick because people are still commenting on how this is a longer video, right? So in this video where he touches his children's chest and rubs on his daughter's nipple, right? In this video, this is where he's seen rubbing on her chest. It's a longer video where there are people dancing and all this other stuff. That's not being refuted. And there are many children who are in many different types of physical contact with their parents and uncomfortable things happen. And then they go forward, to
Hello.
continue interacting with their parents. So they're doing the haka and that poor boy looked lost.
Hello.
Yeah, you're on the air live with Tanya. Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing today? Good.
Hi.
I'm a little curious about your topic. I
Hello, sir.
do think
First of
it's
all, what is your name?
John from
Hi,
South
John. Where are
Carolina.
you called? Okay, it's John from South Carolina. You're on the air live. What is your comment? How
Hi,
long
how
have
are
you been
you?
watching if you're still curious about the topic?
Probably for about maybe 20 minutes. About 20 minutes. I
Okay,
popped
so
on. I saw
talk
you
to
were
us,
live.
John, from, you said South Carolina?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What is
So
your comment?
Well, I guess my comment is, I can appreciate inappropriate touching. I do believe that it exists. But I do think we have to, at the very least, I would think, give the father the benefit of the doubt in a situation where we didn't know, all of the facts. I think it's just it can get a little reckless to not know all of the facts, and just a father with possibly what could be an innocent touch could be exacerbated on a show like this to a lot of people. I guess maybe not knowing all the facts could sort of put their own imprint on it. And then the other further
Yeah,
point that
hold on.
just,
Let's hold on before you do that. Let's
okay,
talk about that. Let's address that first and foremost.
sure,
And I appreciate you coming in and bringing this up, right?
yeah.
The debate is not whether or not the touch is innocent. What is the debate that we're having? What's the debate?
Well, I think that he would be touching his daughter on her chest.
I know, but the debate is not, innocent is not the question. What is the question?
Well, I guess it would be an inappropriate touch.
Okay. Is it possible for a touch to be both innocent and inappropriate? That is the question. Answer that. Answer.
So I guess it could be through, I guess, whichever lens you would be looking through. So
Hold on. You're not answering the question. I need you to answer.
Sure.
It's a yes or no question. Is it
Oh,
possible for a
you want me to
touch?
give you a yes or no?
It is a yes or no question. Is it possible for a touch to be both innocent and inappropriate? Is that possible?
No.
It is not possible for a touch to be innocent and inappropriate.
I would think so. No.
Okay, well then let's talk about that, because that's your premise right there, that you feel that a touch, is it possible that your son, right, could come up to you holding around your leg and then start squeezing your testicles? Their child, they have no concept of what testicles are. Is it possible for your child to start squeezing your testicles and for that
Yes.
touch to be
Yes.
innocent? But is that touch appropriate?
Well, all right. So can I ask a question?
I need you to answer no, baby.
Yes. Yes.
Is it possible for the
Yes.
touch to be innocent and inappropriate then?
No.
You just answered that it's possible for a touch to be innocent. A child can innocently squeeze your testicles.
Right.
Is that an innocent touch? Is that an innocent touch, John? If a child,
the child,
excuse me,
the child, are we talking about the child?
Yes, the child squeezing your testicles. Is that
right.
Innocent?
Yes.
Is it appropriate?
So,
listen, there's no it's yes or no. Is it appropriate?
So, I don't, from the child's vantage point, yes, I guess it would be appropriate.
Right,
if he didn't know
but
better.
in the greater context of society, is it appropriate for a child to stand up in Walmart squeezing your testicles?
No, I would not think
Is
that
it
would be appropriate.
Is it appropriate for a child to go up to another stranger and squeeze their testicles?
Well, again, if the child didn't know. So
right,
again,
exactly. It's not appropriate, but it's also innocent. And I want you to understand that a person can touch another person innocently and it can still be inappropriate. You as a man, right? You can go up to a person, you can be walking past in an area and you can be trying to squeeze past and you can have your genitals pressing against somebody's buttocks, right? You can also be trying to squeeze past and your genitals can start slapping them in the face as you're trying to squeeze past. Maybe you're in an aisle or at a stadium or they're leaning forward and your genitals start slapping them in the face as you're passing by.
Tanya,
You didn't
Tanya,
listen. You didn't mean anything by it, but it's still inappropriate.
I do, but I think that's a little bit of a reach. I do.
No, what I'm saying is that you agree, but your mind, because you have this you have this pre-thought out narrative that you want to talk about, but listen, we can't go forward unless we get past the first point. So please, I need us to get on the same page.
Yes, ma'am. I listen. I want to agree with everything until I can have a point to articulate. So I'll do the yes and no until you can give me a point that I can articulate myself.
Thank you.
So
So
go
then,
ahead.
so then, so then, can we agree that a touch can be innocent and inappropriate?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
You could go into your second point now.
All right. Before I get to the second point, I just wanted to give clarity on the discussion we just had. So I guess what I wanted to just make sure that for you in the audience, I do think that you're right. I think it could be both, but I think it happens through two different lenses. So if you're looking at the situation, if you're going to use the analogy of the testicle piece, from the father's vantage point, that would be inappropriate, and that would be something that he would probably be keying off of, say, this is something I probably need to teach my child. This is inappropriate. But at the same time, from the child's vantage point, and even through the father's eyes, looking from his child's vantage point, he'll say that the child was innocent and not knowing. So I guess that's the double piece to that. So
I need you to get to
it
your
it,
second
it could
point, please. We've already gone over that. That's fine. We know children are
okay.
innocent. I was at remember Erica Badu used to do these what do you call these music shows, like festivals. Erica Badu used to do these festivals, and I went to a neo soul festival at Piedmont Park or some park down in Atlanta years ago. And it was this
Mm-hmm.
little boy, apparently he was breastfed, right? And so he
Right.
got hungry, and he decided that in the middle of this festival that he would reach into his mother's shirt and pull out her breast so that he could get some food, because that's the breast he want. He want to eat. He reached down, and the mother was trying to stop him from digging down in her shirt and pulling out her breast. And the boy got to slapping and trying to get the breast out. However, the
Mm.
mother realized that though we breastfeed, right? It's not
Yes.
appropriate to pull my breast out in the middle of a festival. Like, if you want to breastfeed, there's a way that we have to do this so that we be cognizant of whether or not, we're even in a
Sure.
position to
I would
engage in that type of touch, right? It's
I would
innocent.
I
This
would
boy was
concede that.
about two and a half, right? But they
Yeah.
had to come to a boundary conversation where they're like, listen, this is appropriate when we're at home, or when you talk to me and then I can unbutton in a certain way, but it's not appropriate for you to just walk up to me and pull my breast out. And this is a
No, not
conversation
in
she had
public.
to have with a child, right? So a child
No.
can understand, listen, it's appropriate for you to touch my breast in this other instance, but it's not appropriate for you to touch my breast in this instance. And that's a conversation. And I don't
Right.
want, because you're a man and you may be a father, that we can't have the conversation about whether or not a father can innocently and affectionately stroke his children, but some versions or some portions of that stroke be inappropriate. Can we have that conversation?
Sure, but I didn't get to make my second point though. But yes, I agree with you on that though. And, and I'll just finalize with this. This is sort of again, this is a bigger conversation for, I guess, sort of the cultural place where we are. But I definitely say that there probably needs to be a conversation had or a discussion had about really sort of looking at the sexes. And I know, again, I don't know where people stand on the whole, I don't want to say feminist movement or whatnot, but there definitely does need to be some separation of the sexes. I think we're intermingled a little too much. And I think we get into areas like this, specifically in schools. And I know I deal with schools a lot. I think
Can
there
we
should be
keep
an
can
argument to be said where schools should be same sex to be able to avoid situations
I
like this
just
for
I just
innocent
don't think
men who,
listen, I don't know which version of the rabbit hole you went down on the red pill verse, but I've already heard you drop a few words like feminist movement and the sexes and this type of stuff, and now you're saying that schools should be separated so that we don't come into contact with these types of issues. Listen, it's not realistic for
right.
people to navigate in a society where there is only one gender. I was in the Middle East for 6 months, and the sections of the bus are separated, and this, that, and the other are separated. And then what ends up happening is you don't get a. I remember I went into this shop. I was in Dubai, and when I went into this shop to buy a sari, The guy was helping me put the sari on, and his hands started shaking and trembling, and he started getting flustered and aroused by helping me put on a sari. Like
He wasn't
because
supposed to touch you.
the sari goes right, exactly. The sari, and I didn't know all of this, but the sari goes around the belly, and there's certain pleats that have to go. And as he was helping me, he was shaking. He was started
I'm
sweating.
sure he was quite nervous.
And he started getting aroused. But my thing is, we don't live in a society with only one gender, and yeah, of course, in certain.
Well, Tanya,
Listen, I don't
I hear your
understand why
point.
the fuck you keep cutting me off
No,
while I'm speaking. Excuse me. I don't want to hang up
oh,
on
I'm
you, but
sorry.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
understand
No,
why I can't
let,
even.
let me know when I can. Let me know when I can speak.
You know when you can speak when I stop speaking and I open back up the floor. I'm trying to finish up my point about how we don't
Oh,
live in a society where there's only one
continue.
gender,
I'm
and
sorry.
I can understand during certain levels of schooling where people may want to concentrate on their child being in a unigender school. But at some point, we're going to have to learn how to navigate while dealing with opposite genders. I've stopped speaking now.
Okay. Yeah. So to that point, I would just say we are not a one gender society, and again, I don't know about the whole, I guess the feminist piece or the pill thing that you mentioned, but what I will say is, um, it's there are two genders, male and female, but of the two, it's incumbent upon the man to decide whether or not he wants to allow the woman to be equal to him, because it's up until that point. Women don't really have a say until the man chooses to allow her to be his equal. Because up until he does that, physically she's beneath him, and until we've gotten
According to
into a
who?
society where we could allow that.
According to who is a
Say
woman
sorry.
beneath a man? According to who? According to who is a woman beneath a man?
Oh well, I was just saying physically, like most men could dominate a woman, so it's incumbent upon men to agree that we're going to treat women fairly and not abuse them and not dominate them physically and allow them to be equal.
I'm sorry.
That's where the
Okay.
civility comes in.
All right. Let me just address that real quick, right?
Yes.
There is the preamble to the Constitution says we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, right? And
Right.
when we start talking about human rights, right? Whether or not a person perceives another person as equal or lesser than does not dictate or denote whether or not that person is equal, it is less than. Just because a person in their small human thinking thinks that another person is less than does not mean that that person is actually truly beneath them. A woman is not beneath a man because men and women have different levels of physical strength. And anybody who thinks that, and anybody who thinks that a man can give a woman equality is off base. A person cannot give me something that is self evident in my mere factor of being born. Do you understand what I'm saying? A white person did not give Black people equality. A person can be seen as equal or three-fifths under a particular law governed by men, but that is not the largest law of the universe, son. It's not.
Well, Tanya, I hear you. I guess my point with that was, you're right. I would agree with you. And again, I don't want you to seem. I don't. This is not just. This is just me thinking. But this is not something that I indoctrinate into myself. But I will say that if you have let's just hypothetically say, if you had a man and a woman in a room, and ideally, if they couldn't come to some logical agreement to get along or whatever, if not saying it would be right, but if the man wanted to, he could just dominate her physically, to a point where she would either acquiesce or have to suffer the physical onslaught. I guess what I'm saying is, eventually it sort of everything melts down to a physical thing. It gets to be sort of animalistic, but in reality, sort of when you get to that base level, it's sort of what it boils down to, is that
You
it's
see,
like who
I
can ever
can
be the
tell
strongest.
it's not. So listen, there are animals in the zoo that are stronger than you. So that means that you're beneath an animal. You're beneath the animal, huh? That's what you're telling me? That the
Well, I'm
animal
not
should
going to stick my.
govern, an animal should govern your laws because the animal is stronger than you. And then tell me how this relates to Jason Momoa and the conversation that we're having, because I see that you've come onto the phone to come up with some irrelevant conversation in an attempt to dominate the conversation that we're having right now. Tell me, how does this relate? And then all you're saying is that all I need is a burner or get
Well, what I guess
that guap, and then all of a sudden, then you're my bitch. If I have a weapon, then you need to bow down before me, is what you're saying.
right. That's it. That's
Thank
it
you
in a
so
nutshell.
much. You know what I want you to do? I want you to go. I don't know how long you've been watching my videos. My videos are not for you. I need you to go back to whatever rocks in the manosphere you crawled out from and just go stay over there. You are not worthy of my audience. You're not worthy of speaking directly to me. So you go back into your place, son, and you go run with the red pill men.
Did I finish?
Listen. You go run with them and you go find wherever it is that you can start talking about your dominance. And then, a matter of fact, you know what? Let's bring it the fuck up right now. Let's talk about this shit right now. Let's talk about this right now. Since you want to bring it up, nigga, let's talk about it. Jason Momoa is more than 15 times the size of that girl. So if we're going to talk about strength and dominance and all of those other things, let it not be lost on us that he needs to be even more conscientious of where his motherfucking hands are going by the mere factor of he's bigger, stronger, taller, in a position of authority and governance and guardianship of that girl. So listen to what it is that I'm saying. So his responsibility is greater in terms of protecting that child. So whereas we can say, oh yes, the touch is innocent, motherfucker, you are a father first. And you need to be even more. So whereas I gave him the benefit of the fucking doubt before, there's no benefit of no damn doubt coming out now. This is her father. If there's anybody who is by law, by factor of how that child got into this world, supposed to be the person that protects her, it's supposed to be him. So when he comes up, rubbing and scooping up on her breast, where is the protection for that child from her father to at least show her what physical boundaries are? Listen, I'm not going to say much more than that. I'm going to open back up the phone lines because now you done got me amped. You want to talk about getting a woman into a room and the dusty ass talking points that these dickless, sexless motherfuckers discuss in the other sections of YouTube. If you want to get in on that, right? All I need is a 2x4 and nigga, you done. That's it. Because if that is how, listen, he's stupid. That guy is dumb, because I can tell you this much right here, right? That women are masters at being able to leverage your strength. It doesn't really take much. So it's where you think you'll be using your strength against me. Nigga, you'll be using your strength against your fucking self. It's as simple as that. God damn, these people done got me cussing on a Sunday. Phone lines are back open. Phone lines are back open. I gotta brush my eyebrows down. Man that made me put them on wrong. Whew. 323-488-3149. We're talking about Jason Momoa, not some damn red pill section of YouTube and black pill and these dumb ass wasteland mother effers got me cussing in my house on a Sunday. This is too much, damn it. Too much. Doggone it. This is just too much. 323-488-3149. Phone lines are open. Unbelievable. I can't even believe what I've just heard.
Damn.
You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name? Come with some
Hi,
damn sense, or we about to get to tussling. Hello?
Hi, A lady 747. How you doing?
Okay, A Lady 747. Talk to me. Where you calling in from?
California.
Hi.
Hi. Uh, Before you were rudely interrupted by that idiot, you asked the question about what is it about Jason that we know that would make us feel like we should give him the benefit of the doubt, or that we know he is not an abuser.
Right.
And I have an answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jason has been seen in our eyes, and I say our, I mean Black women, as somewhat of a hero,
Okay.
a favored, I should say maybe a favored actor, because one, he chose a so-called, Black adjacent woman, and he's very handsome. And so he had become a favored actor, I think, because of these reasons. And, we have been programmed to admire men when they check those two boxes.
Mm.
And that's because when I first heard about this before you covered it,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it must be a deep fake. It can't be real. But then I really just checked myself. Like, men have been known to do these kinds of things all the time. And what's this protectionism I'm trying to put over this person? I don't know him. Just like you said, I'm not a fan of anybody. So I just had to just really think about it, step back. You're absolutely right. I think the answer is that he should apologize to his child, to the public, and let it be known that that touch was inappropriate. He wouldn't want anyone else touching his child in that way. And he kind of gave permission by doing that to say, oh, it's okay to touch children in this way, and it's okay to touch my daughter in this way. That's my thought.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. Oh, you're getting off? Thank you for calling.
Well, just one more thing. I've got my
Okay.
beautiful makeup kit. It makes me nervous. I can't wait to see a tutorial. I don't know what to do without the beautiful
Oh, yeah.
makeup.
Did you sign up for the
I
face
can't wait.
party?
Yes, I've got to sign up. That's what I have to do.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, make sure that you do that because we have I just created 30 makeup packs, and so there are 10 more to go out. And then, so that means that 90 would have already been sent out. And then once the last person gets her makeup pack, we're going to be doing the face party. And then I'm going to show you how to use each and every piece of it. I also, this weekend, I'm supposed to be taking pictures of all of the stuff to put up on the web page. But thank you so much for calling in. And thank you. Did you get earrings too?
I didn't, but I am going back to look for them. I didn't know how they would fit my face. It was so beautiful, and what size I would want to get. I got a little bit of anxiety about it.
Oh
So
no,
I'll go
these are the
check it out
70s
again.
that I'm wearing right here that I have on now. These are the 70s and these are the 80s. So I typically in my videos wear the 80s size. I'll put one on one either side for you so that you can compare. I say if you're short, like five
Perfect.
feet, if you're 5 feet, go for the 70s. If you are near 5'5", or you have a long, slender neck, or you're heftier like me, the 80s look really good. But if you're petite, the 70s look good. So these are the 80s right here, and these are the 70s. So you can see them side by side. And buying the earrings do support the channel. So you can go to tanyatko.com, click on the shop. So these are the 80s and these are the 70s. And the numbers stand for the millimeters. So if you have if you can go on the website, I believe the 70s are 2.75 inches and the 80s are 3.14 inches. So that's how we calculate that. All right.
Awesome.
So if you're going to get them,
Thank
do
you. I
get them
love
because
you.
the sale is going to be ending soon. All right. Love you too, Ma. Thank you for calling in.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah. So phone lines are open. I love my 80s size. I'm gonna put the other 80s in. But yeah, so 323-488-3149. Listen, I don't know how we got caught up in that boondoggle with that man, but I knew from the very first sentence that he said, I could hear it in his voice. I could hear the bitch in his throat. I could hear it in his throat. So these are the 80s right here. And so this is how they look normal size on me. You'll see that these are the ones I typically wear in my videos. Amahedi Muhammad says, don't sexualize normal behavior. Normal, is it normal, Mr. Muhammad, especially with a Muslim name like that, for a father to touch on his 11-year-old daughter's chest? Well, depending on which part of the world you're from, especially with child brides in many Muslim countries, it is normal to touch an 11-year-old's chest and then some. You're on the air live with Tanya. What is your name?
Hi, this is Janelle. How are you, Tanya?
Hi, Janelle. I'm fine, thank you. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Corscold, California.
Hi, Janelle from Crystal, California. They feel like to me.
Corscold. Sorry.
Corso?
Yes.
All right. Well, welcome in, Janelle from Cali. Talk to us.
Oh, that guy was just such a clown. I don't even understand why he decided that he needed to be on your show. I mean, I actually came on, I'm going to assume shortly after he started speaking, and he essentially just wanted to make a point that had nothing to do with the debate. He didn't even understand what the debate was about.
Exactly. He wanted to come into contact with me so that he can tell me that he's stronger than I am. That's all he
Yes.
wanted to say.
But that was,
Listen, these men were bred to be stronger than us. They were bred that way by women. The nerve of this mongrel coming on my line to tell me that he could force me to do whatever if we were in a room together. Let this room have one chair, and that'll be the last time that you ever do anything.
it was just, I mean, just completely outrageous. Like, why are you even calling? What is your purpose?
Yeah,
Why is he on your show?
Listen,
Like, obviously,
I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset, right? So that's why I'm talking about it. But typically, I don't like for callers to call in and discuss prior calls. I want you to use this time to get your point across. But yes, so please, by all means, talk about what comment you want to give about the Lisa Bonet and the father of the children and the Grove Fondle situation.
it's just, I have to admit that I actually didn't hear about this, but there has to be a reason why someone would decide to file for divorce after being with them for 18 years. I mean, I don't think that comes out of nowhere. And when I first heard the story, I was just actually very disappointed because I knew that there had to have been some kind of backstory that we didn't know about. And this is just what goes to show you, like, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors with people. And inappropriate touch. I mean, you were basically trying to come to a point, Yes, someone can innocently touch someone and it can be inappropriate. But people need to understand what boundaries are. And you're absolutely correct. He is the example for what that child is going to encounter, and he is the model for what she's going to desire and seek out. So it is important for him to be aware. And you made the absolute best point when you said, the fact that he is bigger, he should be aware. We as women, we have to be aware of our surroundings and the situations that we put ourselves in all the time, to the point where it's exhausting. And the fact that, men can walk around and just, not have this awareness, it's not conducive to healthy relationships between men and women. I mean, you can't have one side of the sex, basically being overly cautious, and then the other side, it's just who are actually the perpetrators most of the time, just have this callous attitude towards like what they do with their bodies.
Exactly.
If we have to be conscious, they have to be conscious as well.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for calling in, Janelle.
And I've actually never called into a show, but just listening, sorry, I was just incensed because that has nothing to do, like, that has nothing to do with the topic. The topic is about what's appropriate and what's inappropriate.
Yeah.
And
He
let's not
proved
divert.
our point. He proved our point. But listen, I don't want to start. I'm going to talk about him once I get off the line with you. I'm going to cuss him out a few more moments, and then I'll open back up the lines again.
We don't want to divert from the topic because people are too idiotic to
thank you for calling in.
Articulate.
I feel
so.
You.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, I'm sorry. When it's listen, I can understand her saying that she's incensed. And I know that man, that predator with his rape fantasies of what would happen in a room if he was there with a woman and he could overpower her. I'll tell you this much right now, son. You wouldn't even have to go through all of that. You could try it. You could try it. And what I would do is I would smile and I would vigorously and enthusiastically do everything right then and there. And then, listen, moments after you squirt and you go to sleep, oh, honey, oh, yes. When you are asleep, I can guarantee you that it'll be the last nap you ever take, ever. I can tell you that much right there. The moment that your eyes begin to flutter and you fall asleep, we'll see who is stronger and who has the power then, because you would not survive. You would not survive in a room alone with me if you think that you can do whatever it is that you want to do, because people have to sleep sometime and hell hath no fury. Don't underestimate. Listen, I if a person could unhook the bone of their leg and then beat you with it, don't underestimate. These people are insane. They're insane. I shouldn't have hung up on him. If this was a different topic, I should have spent more time exploring what is it that he thinks he can physically force a person to do. What does he think that he can physically force a woman to do in a room where it's just them two? We don't live in worlds like that. You're fantasizing about being in an unmonitored jail cell with a woman to force her to do because you're physically stronger. Only between waking hours, son, because I can tell you. You would wake up unable to breathe with thighs wrapped around. We already know they can't breathe with the legs already around them in the moments before climax, but you would wake up smothered. You would never get from underneath there. That would be the last thing that you can know that you did was try to use your strength inappropriately, and we would see who would rise from that room the victor. Let your eyes just flutter for sleep and see. I'd be smiling. You wouldn't even expect it. You would wake up with whatever clothing there was wrapped around your throat, and you would be done. Either clothing or thigh wrapped around your head where you are smothered and can't breathe, because I got some big thighs, son. These people they're so sick. They don't understand that we don't live in a world where people can just harry-carily do whatever the hell it is that they want to do. Yeah. Oh, is he? Let him keep talking. Yes, Johnny boy, keep talking in my comments. Keep talking and pump up my ratio for the algorithm. Get me paid, motherfucker, so that I can make sure that whatever high quality bra straps I buy as I enter into a room with a dumb mother effer like you, that strap will be the same one that is used as your noose. I said it. Phone lines are back open. 323-488-3149. All right, phone lines are open. 323-488-3149. Keep talking. Keep talking, ho. And let my comment ratio be pumped up. Keep talking. Keep talking. Let me get my money off of your ass so I could afford to buy security to keep people like you away from me. You're in the air live with Tanya. What is your name?
Hazel Green. Hi, Tanya.
Oh, well, we know Hazel like to beat men.
Well, that's exactly what I was coming to say. The notion that you are stronger than a woman, put two together, man and woman in the room. My story, 19 years old, grown man, 23 years older than me, with a knife, in the dark. What happened? I busted his lip. And I'm the one that had the restraining order on me. He came at me with a knife. And I did what I had to do to protect my life and the two little small children in the room who were watching. So this notion that they're stronger than us and they can get away with stuff, you got to know who you must know the right woman.
You know what
because
I'm saying?
my ex knew until he didn't know.
And they don't know what power of the ancestors is going to inhabit anybody at any time. There are mothers who have lifted cars to save their babies from underneath because that
Absolutely.
So come with it, son. Come with it. These people.
That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
My story. I had a whole year restraining order for defending myself.
You know what? This is new information that we're hearing about this restraining order, but I ain't going to question your stories, Hazel, because you be, girl, listen.
Well, we have the Zoom meetings if you want to know the whole story. I mean,
listen.
I was with him since I was 14. I tried to get out. He didn't want me to get out.
What are your thoughts about Momoa? What are your thoughts about Momoa and inappropriate touch? Talk about that, because this man, I ain't going to keep giving him shine.
Okay, well, I've had experience with inappropriate touch. I've watched it myself. It may be innocent. Like you said, he may have felt it was innocent, but it was inappropriate in the way that the child reacted. Lets you know that she felt that was inappropriate. It may be innocent, like you said, and I agree. This question isn't about did he fondle his child. Your question was, is this appropriate touch? It's not so much about him. It's about, is that appropriate touch? Is it appropriate for you to be teaching your 14-year-old son to tongue kiss and have sex? Is it appropriate? Absolutely not. That is inappropriate. It's okay to teach him how to be a decent human being. It is not okay for you to be teaching him where the hole is and how to stick it and where to put your tongue. That is not appropriate. And when your children say, I don't like it, please don't touch me that way, don't touch them that way.
Exactly.
That is their right. And in America, children have rights.
Exactly. Well, you know, all over the world, children have rights. They have rights that are embedded in them as creations, as human beings, you know, but nonetheless.
Absolutely.
I will talk with you all later. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. All right, listen, y'all are going off. You know, these people don't know how my knockouts are. This man thinks that he's going to be able to get away in the comments. They will rip you to shreds. These people are ruthless. Are ruthless. This is the nerve. 323-488. No apples. Let me check the apples again. Child, this is too much. My Lord. There are apples that have come in. Let me turn off the thing. Oh, let me grab this real quick. And then we'll check the apples. You're in the air live with Tanya TKO. What is your name?
Hi, Tanya. This is Melina Rodriguez from Memphis, Tennessee.
Hey, Melina from Tennessee. Talk to us. What is your comment about everything that we've been discussing today?
I honestly think that in this day and age, in the year of our Lord, 2022, it is sad that we have to teach grown-ass men about what's inappropriate and what's not. The little girl was clearly uncomfortable. Even when she moved his hand, you could tell she was uncomfortable. It's like a guy, you've been in a relationship with a guy, and he tells you, oh, are you going to believe what you see or what I tell you? And you can clearly see that this man is cheating on you, but you just going to go with what he tells you. That's that type of situation that we're in now, and it's sad.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm sorry, Tasha. I'm sorry, Tanya. I'm really nervous. This is my first time calling into your show. I love your show, and I love the concept. How is it that some people call in nervous and other people call in talking mad junk? You don't have to be nervous there. What are your thoughts about Momoa and this? And first,
ways that people are claiming that they know more about him than they actually know. We don't know his intent. What are your thoughts about that?
I think by me growing up in the, well, kind of my parents worked in the industry for a little while, you never can really tell who someone is, especially working in music or acting or whatever it is. So I've learned just to never take people for face value. If I see them on a camera and they look nice, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're nice people.
Thank you.
I've seen guys that we think are heroes to our community, and I know for a fact that they've touched younger girls. And so I choose not to listen to their music, or I choose not to watch their movies.
Yeah, not only that, somebody said that there's a video of Momoa on a beach touching another prepubescent looking girl inappropriately. And so if there's somebody who can find that footage, I would love to see that so we can come back out with the final word. Because this right here, this whole situation has been a boondoggle. Listen, my dear, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, and you have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. And what is that I hear? Ew, my sound is low. Let me get my sound up. Hey. Hey. All right. So let's read the apples that we have. So Rob sends $20 and says, an apple for my favorite teacher. Thank you so much, Rob. We appreciate that. Let me send you some love. And Natalie sends $10 and says, a lady says, get them perverts. I know that's right. Gather them all up together. Unbelievable. I appreciate the apples. Let me, should I open up I'll open up the phone lines for one more phone call. And then we'll go from there. If you want to send your apples before the broadcast is over, go ahead and send them in now, and I'll read them during the next apple break. So phone lines are open, 323. The number is going right across here on the screen, 323-488-3149. Because they are used to grooming people already, Tanya. That's why it's so easy for them to do that. Yeah, just look around and look at how people are responding. Look at how they are reacting, and you will learn all that you need to learn right then and there. All right? All right, 323-488 323-488. The number is on the screen, 3149. And we're going to take one last phone call, and then we're going to go from there. For those who don't know, we are talking about Jason Momoa, and we're talking about whether or not the touch that he had with his daughter was appropriate or inappropriate touch, where she is seen visibly uncomfortable on a camera where his hand is scooping around. We have a call coming in. Let me grab that. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hey, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got on. I'm Shelby.
Hey, Shelby, how are you?
I'm great. I hope you're great. I love the Tanya TKO show. You are so amazing, and I just want to take a moment to say that to you. I came in late on the comments about Jason. I always want to call him Mimosa. God bless him. Whatever that man's name is. But
yeah.
I did want to say that one thing that I discussed on my own platform, and it does seem a little radical, which of course, when Black women start speaking radically, then, that's when they start sending the police. But I think that one thing that Black women, we need to start adapting is we have this empathy that we've been taught as children to be kind and empathetic and give people the benefit of the doubt. But I think we need to start divesting from that. And if we teach ourselves about apathy and how apathy can protect us, Because I mean, I think even in a lot of situations where we can potentially be harmed by somebody, we feel like we're in a position where we may be harmed. It's like a 70-30 chance, and you're just wondering what this guy is going to do. There is always a spirit in our mind that's just like, well, maybe not. Well, I want to divest from that, and that's what I discuss on my platform. Is really just like, no, anybody that's trying to harm you, they should die. Period. Whatever is going on, you know what I'm saying? So it's like if I have to. Like what I have to go to work tomorrow. That's really the basis. It's like I have stuff to do tomorrow. I don't have time to decide whether or not you deserve to just get stabbed in the leg real bad or you deserve to bleed out. Like anybody that want to come into your circle or into your space and potentially cause harm to you, they deserve to die for that. That is the risk that they take by trying to get into that space. And I think that that's something that Black women do not discuss because we are typically being attacked by people that we know who are also Black. And so it's just like we have all this space that we share, that we say for Black men, benefit of the doubt, blah, 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 blah. But when it comes to us, it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I've definitely been in a position where I've been touched inappropriately and I just kind of stood there because it's like while I'm being touched, I'm wondering what level of harassment does this deserve? Like, what type of response? And it's like in that time, the person is gone. When really I should have just stabbed you in the eye, like, period, So that's something that I always talk about. And I know that sounds terrible, but I know that we be on that here. So sometimes I try to say it out loud when I can.
Well, thank you so much for giving us your point of view. Thank you for calling in. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. So glad to be here.
All right, then. All right, so we're going to take another phone call, and I'm going to check the apples. I think I just heard one come in, so let me just refresh that. All right, 323-488-3149. We're talking about this Jason Momoa footage and the footage of him rubbing and stroking on his daughter's chest, and then the response from him, the publicity that the spin, the public spin that was placed on it, and then also people's follow-ups. You're in the air. What's your name?
Greetings. This is Body Culinary calling from Central America.
Hi, you said you're calling from Central America?
Yes.
And your name is Body?
Body Culinary.
Okay, so go ahead. So what is your comment today, real quick?
Well, it might be a little bit of a lag, but you were talking about Jason Momoa, the man that was married to Lisa Bonet. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And he was touching the video. He was touching her inappropriately, and he's like a really, really big guy. So, this I've discussed with my sister. Unfortunately, it seems that in the Afro community, we have a tendency to give a pass if someone has looks, singing ability or talent, if they're athletic, if they have some kind of celebrity. It seems that all of our critical thinking and discernment goes in the garbage, and it doesn't occur to us that we suspend, if we ever had in the first place, a vetting process, right? There's no litmus test for how we're determining who should have access to our children, our purse, our panties, our pocketbook, our psyche. We're just wide open with no kind of discernment. And as we can see from the numbers and the trauma in our community, that the damage is a ripple effect that goes into, perpetual into future generations. Yeah. And I see many of us will come to the defense of celebrities who, if we had to stop and think, we don't even know these people. Yeah. We don't know them. So how is it we're vetting for not only celebrities, but pastors or religious so-called leaders of whatever the so-called religion? And we all have a tendency to give a pass to who our favorite is, whoever has the right outfit, or they're talking with a gift of gab or a language that we like. We have a tendency to give a pass to, and the results speak for themselves because we just hold so tight in the absence. We hold tight to these celebrities without a vetting process, and it's catastrophic. Yeah. It's catastrophic.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm stunned myself by how many people who don't know this man. Like even the penis toter who called in talking about how we need to err on the side of the father. Why? Why do we need to err on the side of the
Oh
father
my God!
instead
You know,
of erring
I
on the
gotta
side
say,
of the
yeah,
child? Hmm?
I'm over here in Central America, right? And I'm over here eating my little flax seeds and my, my little ground sesame seeds with my seaweed. And I gotta say, I was just cracking up. It's not a laughing matter, but just to see you go to that other side, and because I think folks have a tendency, and especially Afro women, like we've been groomed for the most narcissistic relationship with religion. That's number one.
Yeah.
And I think folks depend on us being either thinking that we're overweight or we're desperate or we're broke or please somebody choose me, please. That we'll just, which we have, many of us as a collective have just accepted any old thing. And predators will do anything when they don't perceive a consequence.
Yeah.
So there have not on a global scale been consequences when you violate, right? Whether scamming, physically, financially, there has been no consequence when you take advantage of an Afro woman. That it is what it is as a collective. And if we are simply waiting around for the government or the quote unquote conscious community or leaders, if we are still
they
at
want
this
you to
point
stop smacking your lips, girl. They want you to stop smacking. They can't take it. They don't like the mukbang.
So sorry. I swear, I have a list, and it's if we are still waiting for someone to come save us or protect us, when in fact it seems that we need, unfortunately, I love men folks, if we are waiting for someone to come save us, we need protection a lot of times from the protection.
Yeah,
it's like we're trying to seek out hope to get chosen to be protected from whoever's supposed to be protecting us. We need protection from the protection.
You know something? So, you know what? Hold on. You know what? I'm so glad you brought that up. And I'm just going to make this statement real quick. This has nothing to do with our phone call, but you just made me think of something, right? You know what? I'm gonna write it down, and as soon as we get off the phone, I'm going to mention it because this is about the dude John who called in. All right. Go ahead. I had to write that note down real quick because I'm going to mention it as soon as we get off the phone. So go ahead. We need protection from the protection. Mm-hmm.
We need protection from protection, and this is not about anti-man because we birth men. We birth boys and girls. I think, though, the pandering in these online communities that are actually giving men, folk, and young men misinformation, it's at a fever pitch. The insecurities around social and economic position and the inability as a collective to protect them and us as a community, we don't have military and so on, that the insecurities in Afro men is being pandered to, and they're being even more misled. It's driving an even deeper wedge because ultimately we can't feel comfortable like we can rest and we got to sleep with one eye open, right? The rates of molestation, abuse, not even before we get to the vanilla man within our own communities. It can no longer go unaddressed. So it's like we have to go to the range. We have to be fit. We have to do some martial arts, whether or not we want to, when we have to be wary of brothers, sons, uncles. It is what it is. It just is what it is. I'm not in a position anymore to just be talking. I can't talk nice to a predator because predators only understand physical, legal, and financial consequences. That's it. I don't have the luxury anymore. I don't have the luxury, and I'm not in the fantasy that I can wait for religious protectors, governmental protectors.
Please.
We're on our own. We're on our own out here. So when you just had to raise up and set it straight.
Yes. Which country are you in Central America?
I'm in Belize. Originally from Brooklyn. I've traveled a bit. And actually, interesting, my godfather used to tell me when I was younger, he said, when you go around, he said, I want you to look and see. He said, because we were all over the planet. And so when I've traveled, I always look to see how are we faring in the world. Like, I always say, where are the Black women? How are we doing financially? How are we doing economically in different parts of the world? And just traveling, even if you're not rich. And I've seen your channel over the years that you've traveled has been quite an education in and of itself, because a lot of times we're looking at so much reality TV. We're in a fantasy land. Yeah. We're in a fantasy land. You got to pay. Security is a fact of life. Security. You step outside the United States and you see if something goes down, who's coming to run and fend for you as an Afro woman? So it's not about being angry. It's just about being strategic and realistic, because just hiding away, praying on your knees, waiting for somebody to save you is not cutting mustard. It's just not.
That's true. Well, you know what? We appreciate you calling in. Thanks for watching. You're our last caller of the day. I'm going to give my summation and then jump out of here. We appreciate your point of view. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ty. You really had me over here chuckling at just the consequence. What a wonderful vision. Physical consequences is very spiritual. I think it's justice. I think it's very spiritual to smack somebody in the face when need be. I think it's very spiritual.
You think it's spiritual?
Take care, Tanya.
Slapping people. Thank you. All right. Well. Thank you. All right. Thank you all so much for coming out for the video. I'm going to say what it is, the epiphany that I had when I was on the phone with her, where she was talking about how we need protection from the protectors. And I thought to myself, this mongrel who called in on my line, John from South Carolina, this mongrel, this dog who called here, that his fantasy is that if he were in a room with a woman, that if they had a disagreement, he could just physically force her to do whatever it is that he wanted her to do. Instead of this nigga realizing that with his strength, he could be the protector of a woman, he has decided that his strength, he would be the offender or harmer or rapist of a woman. Like, what could you, in a room where there's nothing in the room, what could you possibly want to force her to do? There's nothing in the room. What could you want to force her to do besides your intimate sexual or certain words we can't really say on here, those whims? That instead of his predisposition being for protection, that his predisposition is for harming. That shows you a lot about his character and where it is that he's coming from. Hence why I call him a mongrel. Because people like that need to be put down. Because if you will use your strength to harm people who are weaker than you, then who are you? What good do you have to society? Once you go out there raping and doing all that other stuff, what good are you? What use are you? You are a mongrel, a mangy mutt that needs to be put out of its misery and to protect. I would feel my duty. I would feel my duty at that point to protect the rest of the world from a low-down scoundrel like that. The nerve. I can't even believe that I had to hear this here today. And then they talk about strength, but they don't really talk about power. Like, on the one hand, you can say that you are physically stronger just by the mere how you've been bred by women to be physically stronger, but you cannot say that you are more powerful. He couldn't say he was more powerful than I. You know what I mean? These people, they just make themselves look bad. They just make themselves look bad. Yeah, exactly. They make themselves look like predators. Every time that you see a video with one of these niggas running up to a woman's door, banging, trying to get in, some woman that he doesn't know, thinking that he has dual right and access to her place. We need to explore this a little bit further, because these people in the red pill and black pill are going out there teaching these men very dangerous narratives that's going to go get someone's son's life cut off from this earth, because they think that we women are here for their use and disposal, but they don't understand. And then when people bring up texts like the Bible, right? There's somebody who's saying, block me, please. I'm sorry, are you talking to me? Because I can help you with that real quick. I don't know if you're talking to me. I don't want any misunderstandings. I don't know if you're talking to somebody else, but I think that you have to at someone's name, because if I don't see an ad, I think you're talking to me, right? But nonetheless, right, as I was saying, I done lost my train of thought now. I done lost my train of thought. The red pill and the black pill are going out there teaching very dangerous narratives. I think that's what it is that I was saying, right? They're teaching very dangerous narratives that are going to go out there and get their life snuffed, because they're going out there thinking that teaching that women don't have governance, that we don't have autonomy, that we don't have lives that have nothing to do with them. This man wrote to me on my IG page earlier today, talking at least he doesn't have to go to sleep hugged up with a pillow or a teddy bear. And I wrote back to him that my hope is that people, when they go to sleep, that they go to sleep comfortable, that they go to sleep true to who it is that they are, that they go to sleep, that when they close their eyes at night, that they close their eyes in a way that is conducive to how it is that they want and choose to live. For some people, that's going to be a teddy bear. For some people, it's going to be a pillow. For other people, it's going to be a human. But we give each individual the right to choose what is right for them. I think part of the issue is that we don't see women's bodies as our own. We don't see girls' bodies as our own. And I remember what it is that I was going to say, because there are dangerous texts like the Bible where that are giving men that, because they say that this book is the highest law of the land, what land I don't know and what people I don't know, because this book was used by might, fight, and death to get it indoctrinated as the highest book of the land. But nonetheless, there are dangerous texts that give men the idea that they have governance over women's bodies, that women's, I don't like women's no more, that women are here for men's pleasure, that women are here for men to use and toss as they see fit, not really understanding that women have desires and goals and governance. Like, we just spoke to a young woman who was here on the phone from Belize. We didn't really delve into that, but she's from Brooklyn. She lives in Belize. Goodness knows how she got there. I know, and I can remember seeing Belize over the water from when I was in Guatemala. When I was in Livingston, Guatemala, I remember seeing Belize across the water, but I couldn't get a boater to take me across for a reasonable amount of money. But nonetheless, it's like, we have desires, dreams, and goals that many times have nothing to do with men at all. And that is okay. You know, it's like we give men the leeway to create whatever type of life it is that they want for themselves. But when it comes to women and girls, they think that we are here at their beck and call. And there's an awakening that is happening. They're talking about winter is fucking coming. Niggas, winter is coming for you. Winter's coming for you. Because when all is said and done, women are going to be all right, because women know how to be all right. Women, by and large, know how to be celibate, know how to take their time and choose and vet who it is that they have intercourse with. They know how to communicate and talk with other women. Men are so vastly dependent on us for so much. It's men who don't know how to live without us. Why this nigga had to call up on my phone for the mere opportunity to have his voice touch my ear with his fucking nonsense. You don't see me on these other channels calling up and trying to interact with people whom I'm thinking about harming. You don't see me doing that. They can't fucking stay away from us. And I understand. I mean, look, even without foundation, no blush, no contour, look at this face. Look at it, hair undone on a Sunday morn, and still they can't stay away. They talk about how to get us 3 in one night, but they don't understand how they are actually in their actions and teaching, showing female superiority, because they know that in that exchange, the woman is the loser and they are the winner by being able to come in contact with women. So much so that this man in his mind, when he fantasizes about being stuck somewhere with a woman, that his fantasy is that there will be nobody else there to stop him and that she won't be able to do anything about whatever it is that he wants to do, because he doesn't see her as fully human. So much so that he's like, oh, we're larger, we're bigger, but then doesn't realize that that invalidates his comments about Momoa. If you know that your hand stretches from your child's sternum to her pussy, don't fucking rub on her sternum then. If you know your hand is the size of her torso, don't do that. If you know that your hand is big enough to stretch from her neck to her belly and your finger scooping up on her nipple, then don't put your hand there then. If you know that you're that much bigger, and if you know that you're that much stronger, and if you know that you have governance over this tiny person, then be even more cognizant. Why is it that we would give him a pass because he's the father, because he's bigger, because he was caught up in the moment? If he was caught up in the moment and there was a man standing next to him and his hands were twitching and grabbing on the man's balls, would we be as understanding and be like, oh, he was just caught up in the moment, that's why he was jingling the man's balls? No, we wouldn't. But the little girl's body, they say, they feel doesn't even really truly even belong to her, so that she cannot assert dominance over her own boundaries and space. These people are sick. They're sick. And the sickness is coming out. So I want us to take our time to really pay attention and listen to the things that people are saying and just take mental note. Let me check the apples before we get out of here. I appreciate you all giving audience to me today. Thank you for sharing the video. Thank you for tagging. Oh, wow, there's a lot of apples that have come in. Oh, wow, a lot, even more coming in. Let me grab all of these now. I don't hear my thing. It must not be on the thing. Hold on. Hey, okay, here we go. Hey. Hey, all right, here we go. So Natasha sends $5 and says, Jazz was definitely inappropriate. I don't even know who, let's see. And then she says, voice how you feel. Right to personal space. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And Fanny says, God bless. Fanny says, God bless. And then next up, Natasha comes in with $1 and says, even if he only touched her belly, she has a right to say no. Her body does not belong to him. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Even if it's just her belly, which is an inch or two away from her nannikins, then come on. And Tanya sends in $20 and says, slay that weirdo with the boxing gloves. Hey! All right. So listen, any apple after this moment is going to come when we're off air. I'm going to send the hearts once we get off of here. But listen, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out. You all are appreciated. Thank you all so much for being a part of this conversation. We have 700 people on YouTube and we have about 200 on Facebook. So I appreciate and love all of you for coming out. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then we're going to get out of here. So listen, go out there and love one another. Hey, most importantly, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is what? What's loving yourself? Come on, let's hear. What is loving yourself? What is the self-love lessons that you've learned from today's video? Hey. Come on. Hey. Because you know what? They can't stand to see you happy. They can't stand to see you independent of them. They can't stand to see you shining there in all your caramel goddess glory and have nothing to do with them, not miss them, not want them, not need them. They can't stand it. They can't stand it. And they want you to. They look, when they see that hip go left and right, oh, they want to stand up and fight. Come on. Hey. They don't know what to do with themselves. Oh, hey. Listen. Ooh. Talk that talk. Come on. What is the self-love lesson that you all learned? Come on, I want to hear. Keep trusting my spirit and shining doing me. Don't let dirty John near your home. He may lay in your bed. He wouldn't get upstairs to get to the bed. Not at all. Let's see. Come on. Hey. What's the self-love lesson? Let me see. If you have a self-love lesson, type in SLS and then your self-love lesson so I can know which ones I'm reading and which ones I'm not. Protect yourself. I don't know, I just walked into, but it's giving me a lot of vibes. Hey, welcome in, Nairi. Come on. If you're resting in your feminine, and in so it may be time for you to self-reflect. Love yourself to protect yourself. Fire, 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 fire. My body is my temple. The hell is wrong with y'all? That's right, Tanya. Win anyway. Enforce your boundaries. Self-love is the best. Live no matter what. I remember denial is a comforter. Scan for justice first. Never forget. All right, listen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for coming out. I appreciate all of you for coming out and participating in today's conversation. I will see you all in the next video. Go to TanyaTKO.com. Pick up your knockout earrings. They are lightweight. They're 18 karat gold plated. They are lightweight. They are nickel free and they're nickel free and they're lead free. So they don't cause allergic reactions to people who are allergic to those types of metals. Also, the Book of Affirmation Self-Love, which you see back there, is also available on Amazon. All of the links for it is in the description. So I will see you later in the next video. Tanya TKO. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. Bye, everyone. I'll see you all later. Peace. Bye, everybody. Bye. I'll see you all in the next video.